welcome back to Book and Prejudice. My name is Mar, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite type of video to make, which is my autumn book recommendations. I love autumn. I think that it is amazing once the summer is done and September comes around and you go back into your reading routine. So these are some books that I think just capture the essence of autumn really well, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get on the video. Now, as always, there's no actual order for these books, but let's just get going. Number one is The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This book just screams dark academia autumn vibes. It takes place in Yale. There's a secret society, there's ghosts. Need I say more? If I do, let me just say, it's a very atmospheric book. The only problem with it is that it's a series, and we still haven't gotten the second one yet. It's been a few years. It's getting a little bit anxious for me because I really want to continue reading this and going into this world, but I still 100% would recommend reading this book, especially because it's just such a fun read. It's so good. The main character is both very likable and very frustrating at times, and I love that about this book. The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Next up, we have Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is such a popular book. It's all over TikTok. And I got the Waterstones published, like a special edition, which is very pretty, like with the gold and the black, as well as being signed. And I love this book. I think this book was fantastic. Again, following that dark academia vibe, that dark fantasy vibe that we saw with Ninth House. This takes place in the Alexandria Society, which surprisingly is in London in this case, but you know, oh well. And it follows the lives of 6 students, and it is amazing. Like, the story itself is quite enthralling, but also like the atmosphere and the learning that takes place in all of this book, it's just very much what you'd expect from a book that you'd read at the beginning of the school year, especially. It is also a little bit technical, I will say. Sometimes it is a little bit hard to follow, but just Google it. That's what I did. You know, that's when we have phones, that's when we have computers, the internet, your mom, if she's as smart as mine. You know, just Google it there. But honestly, this one was amazing. I'm also waiting for the second one because I am so excited to read it. Next up, we have Cersei by Madeline Miller. If you've been in this channel for a while, you know how much I love this book. I think it's fantastic. It follows the story of Cersei, the witch, the first witch. And it kind of gives it a whole new point of view because it doesn't follow it through the traditional sort of viewpoint, but rather it goes through her life, through her point of view, which I think is insanely well done. As well, if you don't know, Cersei is known for being the witch that lives on an island because she was, you know, kicked out of her country, of her land, of sorts. And her island itself has a very big forest. She goes around, she, you know, uses what's from the earth to make her life better. And I just think that that is a really beautiful atmospheric book that really kind of brings you into this magical world. And it's almost like jumping through a window into a whole new planet. And I think that that is exactly what I look for, those gloomy afternoons in which it's just raining non-stop. You know you're not going anywhere, so you just make yourself a hot drink, cuddle in the couch, and you just want to escape. I think Cersei is definitely the book to do that. Now, this is a classic in this book, in this channel at this point. This is The Secret Society by Donna Tartt. She is the OG Dark Academia queen, and there's a reason why people say that. This is a fantastic book. It's full of mystery, murder, like a secret societies. The secret society. it says it in the title. Like, what else can you expect? I love this book. I read it so quickly, and I'm seriously considering rereading the book, which I don't tend to do very often because I don't tend to find it funny. Again, same thing. Maybe if you're not familiar with Greek mythology and stuff like that, I would maybe recommend just keeping your phone near you. But it's definitely very good. I liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot. And I would 100% recommend reading this just at any point. But, you know, now that school's starting, university's back and starting and everything, why not? Why not see how badly things could go? Following that uni vibe, we have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is same style as Donna Tartt if it took place in the UK. I absolutely love this book. Now, I've read a lot of reviews that say it's a Donna Tartt wannabe, and I 100% agree, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, if I'm honest. So I 100% recommend it. It is... The end of this book really screwed me up because I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting the ending. So definitely, if you're gonna read it, don't spoil it for yourself. Just go for it, just read it. It's very confusing at times, but once you get to the ending, you can tell just how fantastic it truly is and how good Alex Michaelides is at writing thrillers, because this is basically a thriller / dark academia book. That's the best way I have of describing it. As well, we have The Binding by Bridget Collins. And I mean, just with this cover, you know it's gonna be like such like an autumn vibes kind of book. It follows the story of this kind of, it's like a fantastical world integrated with our everyday normal life. So it takes place in, let me check very quickly, world, which is basically ours, but it isn't. You are able to kind of remove a memory from your brain and putting in a book, and therefore even if you open the book and you read it or somebody tells you the memory, you will never remember unless that book is destroyed. And we follow the life of Emmett, who is living his own life. He's trying his best until he realizes that he's got a book. And what's gonna happen? Read it and find out. But it is beautiful. It is a beautiful, romantic, dark story. One that there's no sequel, and I kind of appreciate that. But, you know, at the same time, it really frustrates me to no end because I want to know more about Emmett and what happens to him. But it is a beautiful, atmospheric reading. You know, the images, the scenarios in which this book takes place. You can almost smell it, if I'm honest. Like, he goes to a cottage and you can smell the leather. He runs away to a forest and you can feel the leaves in your feet. So Bridget Collins does a fantastic job of, you know, describing scenery in a way that you can very easily forget that you are in your house, you know. But yeah, The Binding, loved it. I gifted it to my mom. I don't know if she has read it yet. Ooh, okay. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I just finished this book yesterday. I loved it so much. I loved it so much, and it's caused a really big fight in my house because my partner got it for me and it ends in a very big cliffhanger and it doesn't come out until June. So although I'm recommending it for autumn, just be aware that you're gonna get very frustrated. Okay, now that that's been said, it follows a coven of British witches called Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is kind of the same initials, HMRC, as the Taxes Bureau, which I find hilarious for myself, but nobody else found it funny. And it follows these 5 friends who kind of lived in the same town and became witches at the same time. And, you know, we start with them being between 13 and 11, and how they grow up into their 40s. They have families, they have husbands, they have kids, they have responsibilities, and we can really see how they change and they morph into different people from the people that they were when they were teenagers. I love this because it, first of all, gives a very realistic understanding of adult friendships. It's really hard to keep track of your friends when you're an adult. It's really hard to still be friends with people. It takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of love to want to do it, but also it delves into really important, you know, issues that we're facing as a society: racism issues, LGBTQ plus issues, issues of acceptance, issues of power and corruption, and how it affects friendships. I think that it's a very realistic portrayal of our society through the side of, you know, witches and covens and all of this fantastical nature. I loved it so much. I think this is definitely going to be one of my favorite books of the year. I didn't give it 10 stars because Goodreads doesn't allow it, because it was honestly heartbreaking and beautiful and funny and scary, and you know, it had me really like feeling all of these emotions. And I got it for my birthday, and I wanted to wait until October to read it because witches and stuff, and I just had a feeling that I couldn't do that, and I'm so happy that I read it earlier because it was honestly beautiful. I cannot wait for the second one to come out. I actually might pre-order it. I'm gonna pre-order it. Might be a shout. I might pre-order it so that I can get it the day it comes out, because it was honestly beautiful. I 100% would recommend this book. This is probably the one that I would recommend the most. Also, I love it because look how pink the cover is, and the back is as well like in yellows as well, like Juno Dawson's in yellow. It's great. I like it a lot. Honestly, please read this book. Read all of the books, but read that one specifically. Next up, Dark Academia University. So we're done? We're not. It were Villains by ML Rio, because yes, TikTok recommends a lot of stuff, and there's a reason why a lot of people like it. I think a lot of people are like, oh my god, TikTok recommended it. Yes, if like a bajillion people like it, I might as well give it a shot. Not better than the bajillion people. So anyways, sorry for that tangent. It follows a kind of like an undergraduate or master's program, I don't know, like a study group of people that are very into the theater in a conservatory in the middle of nowhere, because that's where all of the Dark Academia books take place. Like, these universities never seem to have a police force anywhere nearer than an hour away, whatever. And you know, you begin already knowing that there was a crime that was committed, sort of like the same vibes as the secret society. There was a person that was imprisoned, but as opposed to the secret society, once like the book starts, you already know that whoever's in jail did not commit the crime, did not commit the crime. So I 100% would recommend this one. This one's a little bit weird, and it's a little bit dark, and it's a little bit odd, but if you are okay with all of those things, I definitely recommend it. It's also written like a play in some sorts. Let me see if I can find, like, they will do things like Bran, blah 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 blah, James, blah 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 blah, and instead of being a play, it's just the people that are speaking. So instead of putting kind of like the quotation marks, sometimes they will just do it like a book, which I found very original. I really like this book. I follow her on Instagram as well, and she's really like, her life is fantastic. I'm very envious of her life. So yeah, definitely would recommend this book. The Mad Women's Ball by Victoria Mass. This is fantastic. First of all, look how beautiful my copy is, and then even if you take the dust jacket, look how stunning that is. Like, oh, beautiful. Anyways, back to the actual book and not the aesthetics, which help but are not everything. This book is basically, it narrates this life of a woman who claims she can talk to ghosts, and she is put in a crazy house for that, like a madhouse, mad women's ball. She's mad. Now, personally, I think that if you can speak to ghosts, maybe you're crazy, but she's actually speaking to ghosts in the book. So maybe she's not crazy and just misunderstood. I don't know. That part screwed me up a little bit. But it follows the journey of this woman kind of realizing that she's there by mistake. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be part of this madhouse, and it's a book of basically women helping women become their true selves when everything around them is telling them not to. So none of the main characters, none of the women in this book are in a position of power. None of the women in this book are in a position of being considered strong by what we consider in our life, and yet I find that they are wonderfully complex women with wonderfully strong personalities that sometimes might not be, you know, guided towards the correct place, but definitely always support each other. And I definitely would recommend this book as well because it's so short. I think it's less than 200 pages. It's beautiful. The only thing that I'm sad is that I have it in English. I found out the book is French, so I might buy it in French as well, just to do it. And Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Now, if you've been part of the channel for a while, you know my love-hate relationship with Naomi Novik. I like her books a lot. I think she writes really good books. I just don't like how little plot there is around them. There's like a lot of explanation and not much happening. I feel like in this book specifically, there were like 6 pages of like her being like, and then we did this, and then this happened, and as a result of that, this guy was there, and so I decided to do this and that and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, well, I feel like there's other ways of saying that. But that being said, it made the list for a reason. Once again, Dark Academia, Secret School for Magic, but also, as I said, magic. You know, I feel like for autumn, if you can combine those two, like magic and like secret schools or secret societies, you're golden. Alternatively, historical books, also very good. Historical fantasy, like The Binding. See, that's why this one's there as well. Anyways, back from my tangent. I really like this one. I thought it was fantastic. I thought that it was really funny at times and really poignant at other times. So I would really recommend. There's 2 of them out right now. There's A Deadly Education and The Last Graduate. I think there's another one coming out soon-ish. And also, frankly, I love the book because the covers are just stunning, especially this one. I actually want to paint the walls in my house based off of like this gold and blue, if I'm very honest with you guys. But yeah, definitely would recommend A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik for the sole purpose that it just feels like the perfect back to school book because she's just coming back to school. So yeah, definitely give this my shot. And now I'm gonna talk about 2 books that I don't have because I've let people borrow them and I'm regretting it. Not much, but a little bit. The first one is The Shadow of the Wing, La Sombra del Viento by Carla Ruiz Zafón. I will plop it here. Who my sister has, and I'm saying this very clearly so that she's aware that I know that she has it. She can't steal it from me. I do have the rest of the boxes here, but that's not the first one. Now, this book takes place in Barcelona. It follows the life of a little kid who just stumbles upon this magic library and, you know, just the life that ensues after it. It's a 4-book series, which I love. I like Carla Ruiz Zafón a lot because his style of writing was very surroundings inspired. So it was very nice to read that book with the knowledge that I have been to those places, especially because it takes place in Barcelona. However, you don't have to have gone to Barcelona to picture the gloomy catacombs that he's speaking about, or like the rainy afternoons or the sunny days in the beach, because he does such a good job of just creating the atmosphere for you that you just don't really need to. So I would definitely recommend reading Carla Ruiz Zafón any time of the year, but especially in the autumn. Oh, actually, by Carla Ruiz Zafón as well. There's this book. It's called Marina. It's freaking traumatic, okay? Not gonna lie to you guys. It's not a happy book. I didn't have a fun time reading. As a matter of fact, I read it when I was 8 or 9. First mistake. And it destroyed me. Like, I read it with a cousin of mine, and I remember we were just like in tears for most of the trip. We ruined it for everyone. But again, like, same kind of gloomy expectation, same kind of dark life kind of vibes that I really appreciate. Like, It shows a very somber lifestyle, but it shows also a very beautiful lifestyle. So yeah, Marina by Carla Ruiz Zafón and The Shadow of the Wind by Carla Ruiz Zafón, 100%. And lastly, I don't have this book either because my friend has it. Again, saying it so that she knows that I know that she has it. Is Bunny. I can't remember the name of the author because I don't have the book. I read this summer and it was really weird. I'm not gonna, I don't know how to, okay. I had heard and I had read that not two people ended up with the same mentality, like with the same feeling of what the ending was. However, holy crap, I was not ready for that because I have no idea to this day what that book was about. I think I know. I've created my own assumptions of what I feel like that book is about, but I don't know if I'm right. Like, I don't know if I'm, like, did I interpret the author's ending correctly? I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it because, like, very, very briefly, again, secret society, there's this very specific group of like this really specific master's program that only 5 girls are doing, or this particular class only 5 girls are doing, or 6 girls are doing. 4 or 5 of them are like best friends, and then we have our main character who's like hates them. It's like, oh my god, I would never speak to them. Which in of itself, it's quite, you know, I don't love that, but bueno, up to them. But then like halfway through the book, they become friends, you know, same sha-la-la-la. And then it just gets weird. And I don't know how to explain it, so that's what I'm gonna say. It gets weird. And I don't mean it in a bad way at all. Like, it's a fantastic book. Please read Bunny. Please also beware. You will not know what you've read. And that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. We like that for ourselves. So yeah. That's what I have on that. Like, this is the worst book to finish on because I have nothing else to add to it. It's weird. If anyone has read it, put it down below if you thought it was weird as well, because I thought it was super weird. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys liked it, please like, subscribe, all the jazz below. And for more bookish content, you can follow me on Instagram at Book and Prejudice, where I try to post more regularly, especially now that I'm back. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, have a lovely, lovely week. Bye-bye!